Hi there. Fly I'm going to tie for you today is my Miracle Caddis. So the hook I have in the voice right now is a Dairiki number 305. This is a size 12, but I tie it in size 14, even sometimes in size 16. It's got a lot of foam on it, so it floats really high, and there's a lot less hackle than like an Elk Hair caddis would have. So let's get started. We're starting out with some 70 denier olive green thread here. So kind of in the spring and summer I tie this in green, because obviously it's like caddis green, but in the fall I tie it in orange for the October caddis. Alright, so we get a good kind of thread base down here. Make sure the whole hook is covered. I just kind of work my way to the back. So at the back we're tying in first off what's going to act as our ribbing, which is just going to be colored wire. So I've got, in this case, it's kind of a fluorescent green colored wire. So I'll use that for my ribbing here in a minute, but I'm going to get it tied on for now. Okay. So now that that's on, now for the next ingredient. And the next ingredient is olive crosslink 1mm sheet foam. So it's pretty thin stuff. But like I say, it makes it float pretty well. I tend to try and tie it right on the top. That way the bump created by tying it in is less visible to the fish. And I really wrap it down hard, and then I move forward with it. So this will be the body of our fly. Kind of touching wraps, working forward, remembering that caddis are kind of a thin-bodied creature. Okay, so we're going to take it about 3/4 of the way up the hook shank before we tie it off and trim it off. Okay, so we've got that there now. Our next step is that we want to put our ribbing in, and I have been totally converted to the counter wrap philosophy here. So I've been counter wrapping all my ribbing stuff. I really find that that does increase the durability of the fly, hold materials down better. So we give it a couple of wraps there, get our segmentation, and tie it off. Don't forget, don't use your good tying scissors to cut off wire. If you're going to cut it, hopefully this stuff will just helicopter off for me. Perfect. Alright, so now we've got the body of the fly. The next part that's going on is kind of an underwing, and I use 2mm sheet foam for that in black, and I kind of cut a little wedge in it just to give me a good tie-in point. And that might be just a tad long, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off of the back here. Okay, so it's going to go right about there, just so it sticks out past the end of the hook a little bit. Okay, like so. And the next thing we need is some elk hair to be our wing. So I've already stacked the elk hair, so now I just need to pull it out of the stacker and tie it in. I found the last few times I did a tying video where I stacked elk hair, I made the camera shake, so I thought I would do it beforehand. Alright, so we want it to be just a tad bit longer than the foam, just so it sticks out a little bit past the back, kind of giving that transparent look to the wings. Just going to double check my measurement there. Before I cut, measure twice, cut once. Okay. Got that there. Let's get our wraps on. flared a little bit more than I would like it to, so I'm just going to run backwards a little bit here. And, I got one stray one down there. Let's run backwards a little bit here and try and get that to kind of suck together a little bit more. Okay, so that really turned on me. That's okay. You can get it to kind of bunch together here. Alright, so now, difference between Elk Hair Caddis and this is that I do not keep all of this kind of tufted stuff that usually you put up at the front on an Elk Hair Caddis. So I'm cutting that all off for right now. Being careful not to cut my thread. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, so now that we've got that there, okay, so our next step here is to put on the hackle. I like to make this one look pretty bushy, so I'm kind of using a bit, maybe it looks like a little bit of oversized hackle here, but I'm going to tie that on here. So like always, I'm going to give it a little bit of a brush cut. Give us that good grip for the tie-in. Okay, get our hackle pliers on there. Give that, whoop, don't want to get too much elk hair caught in there. Give that a few nice tight wraps just at the front. So again, another thing that's a little bit different from the Elk Hair Caddis, and that all of the hackle is at the front. Okay, cut that off. Okay, so it's pretty bushy there at the front, which is good. That's exactly what we want. And now we'll just kind of tie our head on there and then whip finish it and we're done. Okay. Alright, a little touch of head cement up here, and actually with these I tend to give it a little bit of shot of the goo. Shot with the torch there, seal it on. So there you have it. You got a Miracle Caddis. You can see the segmentation is quite a bit, is very pronounced, but the foam really helps it float, and I find that it can suspend pretty good droppers as a result. But yeah, this has been my go-to caddis pattern for this year. Thanks for watching. And here's the October caddis version of that same fly. As you can see, just tied with kind of bright orange foam and fire orange thread, but basically the same design.